Hello everyone, this is Sam from Digital Music Class. These are supplemental lessons that will not be graded or take the place of classroom assignments. These are merely supplemental lessons for students to continue their learning during school closure. On the last lesson, we learned about composing a mellow beat. In this video, we're focusing on the mood of chill. Just like very similar to mellow, this is also on the same slash similar categories. When I'm in a need of a headspace to relax, sometimes I enjoy listening to music that are very mellow and specifically chill. Not too much happening and very consistent. Melody and scale-wise doesn't really matter much, but most definitely something that's uplifting and doesn't make me sad. So to start, I have actually put in a sample that's a little bit positive and uplifting in my opinion, so let's go ahead and take a listen. Okay, to start, I want to change the pitch of the sample because it seems a little bit of a downer, and let's see if we can somehow reinforce the settings so we can make it a little bit more positive and uplifting. So I just kind of transposed it one step up, and now let's go and change it to Complex Pro. It's great. Now I'm going to start to construct a beat. Let's go ahead and start. Starting with the kick drum for the drum beat. Followed by a snare. I'm going to degrade the sound a little bit by transposing it down, and always make sure to zoom in and make sure that everything is on grid, otherwise you're not going to be on time. So make sure to zoom in and make sure the grids are correct. And now let's go into the sample and excuse me, let's go ahead and transpose it down a little bit. Negative 2 seems pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. Now I'm going to continue just doing some kicks and snares here. So now that's some pretty good patterns. Now I'm going to fill in some other drum element. I'm going to add some shakers here. Let's go ahead and use these two on the same track, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. And the control command to actually cut these are Control E on the computer, on the PC, and Command E on a Mac. Everything sounds pretty good so far except this element. I'm gonna go ahead and unwarp it and then also pitch down. Okay, now I'm gonna add some percussions here. Let's go ahead and look for some percussions. Oh, that tambourine sounds pretty good with the snare, so I'm just gonna layer it on. Just like other sounds, I'm going to pitch it down so it's distinctively different. Adding a few more here. Okay, I think that's pretty good for percussions, so let's go ahead and move on to something else. Now, I'm gonna, I think the next thing that we can use is definitely maybe some like an additional melody. So let's go ahead and look for some. I really like this Cosmos soundscapes, and I'm going to go ahead and drag it in, and also make sure that your MIDI button is always turned on so you can actually use your keyboard as a piano roll, even if you don't have a MIDI keyboard. So I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to turn it back on again. Now you can see it turned on, and make sure to arm your track to turn it on, and now we can control it. Great. Now I'm just gonna jam around a little bit and then just basically just come up with like a riff that we can complement with the loop on top. Okay, that sounds pretty simple. Let's go ahead and maybe like add some additional settings here on the little setting panels for this Cosmos soundscape, and let's go ahead and maybe like make it a little bit more washed out and less present compared to the one on top. That sounds pretty good so far together. Now we're going to take this 8-bar and duplicate it, and now let's go ahead and start arranging. We're going to make an intro here, and then oops, oh, it's kind of different there. Let's make this as a drop. And so what I'm going to do here now is go into this chill thing and chill sample, and I'm going to load it on auto filter. So I'm going to set it on the low on the filter frequency, and now I'm going to start to bring it back. And in fact, I'm actually going to duplicate this whole entire intro thing because now I want to basically make the build up a little bit more so that people can expect the drop a little bit stronger than it should be, even though it's a chill beat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and automate it like this way. I'm gonna deactivate this one. Oh, I almost forgot one thing. Let's go ahead and add a bass in there. Unlike the hip-hop bass that we normally use, we're going to use a different one now. So I'm playing the notes on like few octaves higher because I'm able to pick up the notes a little bit better this way than just guessing it. So I think it'll go something like this. Let's find something that's a little bit more boomy. Okay, that's a pretty good 8-bar, and I'm just gonna repeat this. And then as soon as the beat pretty much drops, and then it's going to be trying to be not as busy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add this. And then we're basically going to duplicate some of the things and then basically add the drive, and progressively it should start as like not as busy and then works its way up and then gets a little busier. So let's go ahead and copy these right here and then maybe add it to this. Now let's hear what it sounds like so far. And then from here, I'm going to automate it down. And the reason being is because this lead that's coming up and what we made, that sounds like. As you can tell, there is a little bit of the high elements that's happening at a higher frequency, I'm sorry. And so as this auto filter goes down and dips down to 1010 kilohertz, it's going to be ducking, and this will be able to be present. So let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like together. Now we can add more of like transitional things like crash will be very appropriate. Then maybe we could add like some of the more lighter crash, not too much. Maybe one of these soft ones will do. Let's go ahead and turn everything down a little bit. I see that the sound is peaking a little bit, so. Okay, so as the track was playing, I managed to find like this reverse kick and crash together, and it just sounds really good as a transitioning tool. So now we have this so far, and let's see what else we can do. Okay, next we're going to basically build like a give it like a little bit of a better build here, because obviously you can tell that between the intro and the drop there needs to be some sort of like a drive that's going. So we're going to go ahead and add these hi-hats. And then let's play with this auto filter, and I want to basically go here and then bring it all the way down, so it'll be like you. And then just to add some textures here, why don't we just go ahead and add some of these final distortions. All right, so I think that pretty much concludes the whole entire creative process for this beat, with a consisting mood of chill, just like the last lesson. The mellow vibe, it's very similar. Unlike mellow though, this one can be a little bit more uplifting, but the point is that there's not so much going on that it still falls under the category of chill. So this concludes this part of the lesson, and on the next one, and the next week of lessons, we're going to be working on slow vibe and some down tempo stuff. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and have a good one.